Vortex. Meet Marlboro. Yes, that's his name, even though he's pink. We're giving him his masculinity back by naming him after the most famous cigarette brand. Now yours truly really wants to smoke cigarettes. And so I'm going to use him as inspiration to not go back to my once beloved habit. My friend won him out of the crazy claw, and he was just sitting up on the counter, and I kept grabbing him and holding him like this, and she said, "Fine, you can have him." So Marlboro is ours. I'm gonna use him in my set tonight. In case you're not familiar, we do stand-up comedy because mental illness isn't going anywhere. So really the only option that we have in this shit world is to be a comedian and to spoof everything. Because this whole country is a joke. This whole world's a joke. Politics is a joke. I feel like religion wasn't supposed to be a joke, but it kind of turned into one, did it not? I don't know whether to go to my spot and read for a little while. You know what spot I'm talking about? Right here. See it? The man-made lake. It's not really a lake, it's a pond. But there are no geese today. It's always good for me to have some time to myself where I just like read the scripture and chill. Because I have the tendency to not be so chill, you know? I'm sure you know. If you're a fan of this channel, you definitely know. So, the dude that had a bit of a meltdown yesterday, he came back. I feel bad for him. My manager said, "You're so feely." Because empathy is so weird to most people. Like, they just don't feel sorry for anybody. But I feel like that's just because they don't know that, like, not everybody is equipped with a mentality that, you know, powers through everything. You know, I used to be a lot like this dude. Only I didn't blame my shit on other people. But I would just, like, get really emotional and break down and start crying, you know. That was what I did. So, the narcissist will get really angry and explode on everybody. The borderline personality will get really upset and cry. Schizophrenic will just leave. I've done that a lot too. But you can't fuck off all the time, you know? You can only fuck off some of the time. Because eventually you need to get paid. But I'd rather deal with somebody crying all the time than somebody being a hothead. Because the hotheads will take out all their problems on everybody around them. Whereas, you know, the weepy face will just be the weepy face. I don't know, man. I genuinely do feel sorry for people, though, because they don't... A lot of the time, they just don't know how to deal with their emotions properly. You know, and unfortunately, you know, we don't really have classes on that. If I were to establish a utopian universe, I would strongly suggest, since I wouldn't be the leader, because I don't think that women should be leaders, but I would strongly suggest to whoever is leading the nation of Utopiaville, I strongly suggest that we have some kind of aid available for people that struggle a lot with processing their emotions. There needs to be people that understand why these things happen. And I never talk down to people, because, you know, that's something I've dealt with my whole life. And my parents don't really understand, because they look at it like, you know, they have the best of intentions, they want good things for me, but if they don't understand something that I'm talking about, or they don't understand what I'm experiencing, then they tend to, like, downplay it and invalidate it. And I think that's why we're here. Not to blame them for anything, because they did the best that they could, you know? It took a long time for me to make that assessment about them. It also took me, you know, changing my political beliefs to be able to forgive them for any kind of verbal abuse that they might have exhibited without knowing it. Now, I think it's just a generational thing. You know, you don't understand the generation that you're bringing up. And I know that a lot of people whine about their shit. But, like, I've experienced it enough to know that I'm not, like, exaggerating or, like, faking it or anything like that. It's just, like, it is what it is. And I think that it's really a struggle for people that, you know, they don't want to sit with that. You know, they don't want to just be uncomfortable. But that's really all it's about. If you can just get used to being uncomfortable, you'll get good at being uncomfortable, and then, like, a lot of stuff won't bother you as much as it did. Doesn't mean it doesn't bother you at all. I mean, I shot a video this morning where I was just crying, but it's like this whole idea that, like, oh, you're never gonna lose your shit sometimes, like, that's just stupid. It's just stupid that people think that. And they look to medication, and they look to therapy, and they look to some self-help book, or they look to some 12-step program to, like, solve all their problems, and that's just dumb, you know? Just accept the fact that you have problems. Accept the fact that you struggle. You don't have to whine about it, but that doesn't mean that you have to ignore it or pretend it's not there, you know? I just think that's really hard for people to come by. Happy medium does not exist in America. Because they want it to either be, you know, this or that. Either or. There's no in between. But that's just not realistic, man.